created for UNC Wellness Centre.
Hello, my name's Deena. Welcome to 40-minute gentle yoga. Please find a comfortable position, sitting on the mat with your spine erect, and close your eyes. Invite the breath to lengthen and to deepen, allowing the belly to expand. And as you exhale, allowing the belly to contract. Just continuing to invite the breath to grow longer. And as we slow down the breath, we start to slow down the mind, connecting to the present. And as we exhale, we invite the body to relax, to release, and to let go. Continuing to breathe slowly and deeply. Just allowing yourself to be fully supported by the mat. It's a beautiful time to practice gratitude here. So as you inhale, connecting with that heart space, and just bringing to mind the face of someone whom you love, or someone who loves you. Maybe bring to mind something beautiful that you've experienced. And as you inhale, pulling those through that heart space. And as you exhale, just feeling that gratitude and that emotion. Inhale, sweep the arms up, bringing the palms together at heart space, and just setting intent for your practice today. Perhaps to be more mindful, more connected, more present. Bring the hands face down. We start the Sufi grind, allowing that body to make those small or larger upper body circles, grinding down through your sits bones. We do about 6 in one direction, slowly or faster if you'd like. Coming to a stop and then shifting direction. Continuing to allow that breath to lengthen and to deepen. Just waking up the body, the hips, the neck, the shoulders. Coming to the center. We inhale, sweeping the arms up and over, and then reaching over to your left side, allowing that left hand to reach down towards the floor, and just being mindful we're still waking up the body, so not falling over too much. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up, and allowing that right hand to come down, and stretching over to that right hand side. Inhale, sweep the arms up, and this time we're twisting around to that left side, allowing the neck to follow if it doesn't bother the neck, but if it does, just looking to the side or straight ahead. Inhale, sweep the arms up, exhale, twist to the right side. And inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, coming over the knees into that table, being mindful that the wrists are under the shoulders, the knees are under the hips, taking a moment to adjust. You can have your toes tucked or you can have your toes flat. Inhale, reaching forward with the chest, coming into your cow, exhaling into your cat, looking back towards your knees and toes, and just working with your breath through those cat and cows as slow or as fast as you wish. Allowing the fullest extension for your body. If you'd like to make this more dynamic, after your next cat on the exhale, you could sit back towards the heels. Just waking up the shoulders and sweeping forward then into that cow, sitting back, Just waking up the hips, the shoulders a little bit more, makes it a little more dynamic. Just a couple more like this. And then we'll come back to that neutral spine, reaching back with that right leg, toe touching the mat. Stay there or lifting that leg up, toe pointing down. Stay there or reach out with that left hand. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, bringing that knee to the elbow, reaching out and lengthening. And exhaling, bringing that knee to the elbow, reaching out and lengthening. Last time, bringing that knee to the elbow. And then coming back to table, perhaps one hip circle, one direction, one hip circle, the other direction. And then we'll switch to our other side. Step back with that left leg, toe touching the mat, lifting up that left leg, toe down, reaching forward with that right arm, staying there or extending, and then on the exhale, bringing that knee to the elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhaling, contracting. Inhaling and lengthening. And last time, knee to the elbow and last extension. And coming back to that table. One hip circle one direction, one hip circle the other direction. And then we're ready for that first downward dog. So tucking the toes and mindfully, gently coming back, being aware that we want to see that beautiful extension in the back while we're in that upside down V shape. Bend the knees as much as you can, walking your dog just to allow that back to open. And then mindfully and gently look between the hands and walk, step or jump to the top of your mat, just taking your time. Folding here, allowing that extension through the back body. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, fold. Allowing those elbows to be cradled in the hands, in that fold, maybe swaying a little side to side, just allowing gravity to do its work. Coming back to the middle. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Bringing those hands together above the head, looking up if it doesn't bother the neck. Exhaling those hands to heart space. And then relaxing those hands down in mountain. Grinding down through the feet, engaging the legs, the core. And then we'll start with our sun salutation sequence. So standing in mountain, just ground down through all four corners of the feet. Engaging the core. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, swan dive down, hinging from those hips. Micro bend in the knees, keeping that back as flat as possible till we fold over. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Step back with that right leg, followed by that left leg, and come in briefly into that upside down V shape. Just being mindful that we might need to bend the knees. We're still warming up that body. And then shifting forward to plank. You can drop the knees as you need to. Tuck the elbows to the sides. Chaturanga, that low push-up. And as you inhale, untuck the toes, coming up to baby cobra. And exhale down, coming into tabletop, tucking the toes, back to downward facing dog. And 2 breaths here. Just realizing every dog is going to feel better. And look between the hands, mindfully walk, step or jump to the top of that mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep those arms all the way up, overhead. And we're going again. So exhale, swan dive down, hinging from the hips, keeping that back as flat as you can. Micro bend the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step back this time with that left leg, followed by the right, briefly into downward facing dog. shifting into plank, dropping the knees as you need, tucking the elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra. We're still warming up the back, so being gentle. And exhale back through table, tuck the toes, downward facing dog, 2 breaths here. Walking that dog, should be starting to feel a little bit better. Bending those elbow creases in to face each other. Expanding the back, then look between the hands, mindfully walk, step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. We're going to continue and modify, so exhale, swan dive down, hinging from those hips. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, looking ahead. Exhale, fold. Step back just with the right leg. Take a moment to pad that knee as you need, folding the mat, and drop that right knee. Take a moment to move the feet and adjust and widen to give yourself a solid stance. Then sweep those arms up overhead into that low lunge. Exhale back to goddess or goalpost arms. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale to goddess, sinking deeper into that hip. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale one more time to goddess. Sweeping the arms up, we're going to start to fall forward and straighten that front leg, being mindful to keep a micro bend in there. Just being realistic about where your body is today and listening to that body. Bringing the fingertips to the mat. It's a great place to use a block as needed. Maybe flexing and pointing that foot. Maybe pulling that left hip back as you reach forward with the chest. Just allowing that body to open before we sweep the arms up and come back into that low lunge. Coming down, planting that right palm. We're looking over that left hip. Or we might need a little bit more, and we can possibly untuck that back toe and stack those shoulders. Looking up, but if it bothers the neck in any way, just looking to the wall or maybe looking down. Coming into that twist. Coming back and sweeping that left leg back into downward facing dog. We're going to stay here, or you can move through the rest of that salutation, coming through chaturanga, inhaling to cobra, and exhaling back, and we'll all meet in downward facing dog for a couple of breaths. Then looking between the hands, mindfully walking, stepping or jumping to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, sweeping the arms all the way up and over. We're going one more time. Exhale, swan dive down. Hinging from the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. This time stepping back with that left leg. Patting the knee as needed before we drop that knee. Coming into that low lunge. Sweeping the arms up, looking up if it doesn't bother the neck. And exhaling to goddess arms. Inhaling and reaching. Exhale, sinking into that hip. Adjusting as you need. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, last time in goddess. And inhale, reaching, this time allowing that front leg again to lengthen and straighten, keeping a micro bend in the knees as we bring those hands down or use a block, pointing and flexing in that yogi split. Just enjoying that stretch down the hamstrings. Coming back again, sweeping the arms up into our low lunge, and then dropping that left palm and just looking out over that right side, perhaps staying here or untucking that back toe and stacking the shoulders, lengthening, coming into a deeper twist. As we come out of this twist, just taking the time to create the space so you can step back to your downward facing dog. Again, you can stay here or continue to move through your vinyasa, or maybe rest in child's pose. Coming forward to plank, tucking the elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And exhale back to downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Again, walking that dog as you need before we look between the hands and mindfully walk, step, or jump to the top of that mat. Allowing the elbows to be cradled in that forward fold, nodding the head yes, shaking the head no, letting gravity do its work. Allowing those hands to wrap behind the legs if you have that extension, maybe holding the elbows, maybe straightening one leg and then the other. Just allowing gravity to undo any sitting on the couch. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up and over. And exhale those hands through heart space as we relax back into mountain. And we're going to focus on building heat. So starting in mountain, inhale, sweep the arms up and over. Exhale, sit back into that chair. If you find in your chair you want to extend your arms, but when you do, it makes you look towards the floor, then sweep those arms back behind you. Really helps open up that chest. We can play with the toes, maybe coming to our tiptoes, and then sitting back to our heels and peeling those toes off, coming to those tiptoes. Remember, there should be no pain here. Discomfort, challenge is fine, but no pain. If there's any pain, just coming up and rising up on the tiptoes as you inhale and as you exhale, sitting back on the heels. One more time, inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, sitting back into that chair. This time, we might want to do an open twist to that left side. Perhaps you want to come into that prayer twist, bringing that elbow to the outside edge of the knee, bringing the hands together, and reaching to bring those hands to the center of the chest. Just a breath or two here, then reaching up on the inhale. And on the exhale, coming into that prayer twist or open twist the other side. Again, mindful there isn't pain, but there may be a little pressure. We want to challenge ourselves, but there should be no pain in the body, so listen to your body. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, swan dive down. Bring those fingertips halfway lift. Exhale down, bringing the fingertips to mat and stepping back with that right leg into a high lunge and sweeping the arms up and over, taking the time to adjust as you need. Exhaling those arms to goddess as we sink deeper into that front hip. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up. Exhale to goddess. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, last time in goddess. And then inhale, sweep the arms up, shifting the weight forward. Walk that back leg toward before we start to lift that leg up maybe. And perhaps come in with your hands at your hips, with your toes pointing down, straightening, working to balance the hips. Maybe the hands stay at the hips, maybe the hands come into airplane arms. Or perhaps you want a full extension of a warrior 3 and you reach your arms forward, working to balance those hips, reaching back through the heel, reaching forward through the fingertips. A little challenge coming up without touching the floor, raising that knee. Stay there for a breath, and then slowly and gently we're going to step back into warrior 2. So we reach back with that back leg, bringing it parallel to the short edge of the mat, taking time to adjust the feet heel to heel or heel to arch, checking that the toe is visible, the big toe is visible, and then extending the arms, looking out over that middle finger in warrior 2. Flipping that palm, we're going to straighten that front leg, Coming into a reverse triangle, reaching down with that back hand, looking up if it doesn't bother the neck. And then back to that warrior two, and then side angle, resting that arm gently, bringing that arm up overhead, or maybe creating a diagonal line with that back leg. Perhaps extending that lower arm if you'd like a little more challenge, or maybe holding that beach ball and extending both arms. And then coming out back to that reverse triangle, and we'll move through that sequence, coming back to side angle, and then inhaling, coming back to reverse triangle. And as you exhale, coming into your version of side angle. And as you inhale, bringing those hands to the hips, pushing out with that back hip to create some space, pointing at the wall, extending, extending. When you find your edge, you know we're coming into triangle, allowing that hand to come down, allowing the shoulders to stack. If your top shoulder is in front of your lower shoulder and you're looking toward the floor, you're not getting the benefit. So please extend. That top shoulder should be just a little behind that bottom shoulder, and you can work to deepen that extension. Grounding down through all four corners of the feet, looking towards the side wall, and then coming back into that warrior two. Bringing those hands to the hips, straightening that front leg, pivoting the feet. We come into a wide leg fold, pushing back with our rear to the rear, our chest reaching forward, our head reaching to the front of the room. Slowly, mindfully, stopping halfway, checking in on the back before we fold down. And you can use a block here as needed. Walking the hands a little to that left foot. And then maybe walking the hands over a little to that right foot. Just feeling the difference there. And then coming back to middle, maybe using a block. Maybe cradling those elbows in the hands. Nodding the head yes, shaking the head no. Just allowing gravity to do the work. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips to the floor, flat back. Exhale, fold. And then bring the hands to hips. We come out the way we came in, two parts, stopping halfway, checking the back, bending the knees as much as you need. And then pivoting that foot, coming back into your warrior two, making sure you can see that big toe, that your knee is tracking outward. Flipping the palm, reversed warrior, keeping that front knee bent. And back to warrior two. And then letting gravity and momentum pull you to the front, shake it all out, and we're going to do the other side. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, swan dive down, hinging from the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step back to a low lunge with that left leg. Take a moment to adjust as needed and then sweep those arms up. Inhale, looking up if it doesn't bother the neck. And as you exhale, coming to goddess arms. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale to goddess, reaching those shoulder blades back together in goddess. Inhale, sweeping up. And last time in goddess. Then we're going to sweep those arms up, adjust that weight toward the right foot forward and start walking that back foot as we need to before we can extend that back leg up. Bring those hands to the hips as you need, micro bend the knee, just allowing those hips to level. Maybe airplane arms, or perhaps you want your full warrior three, working to raise that back leg, toes pointing down. And then coming up, raising that leg, maybe a little challenge pose. And then very mindfully and gently stepping back to warrior two, taking a moment again to adjust the feet, making sure that knee is tracking to the outside edge. Looking over that middle finger, flipping the palm, straightening that front leg, reverse triangle. Coming back through warrior two to side angle, your version Maybe finding that diagonal line, perhaps extending that lower arm to challenge yourself, or holding that beach ball. And then we're going to move through that same sequence, back to reverse triangle, exhaling through to side angle, inhaling reverse triangle, exhaling to side angle, inhaling to our last reverse triangle, looking up if it doesn't bother the neck. Bring the hands to the hips. We're going to push out, point to the wall, and then reach, 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 find your edge, and then allow that hand to come down, finding your perfect triangle. So it's not about reaching for the floor, it's about opening up to the side of the room, stacking those shoulders, being aware that that top shoulder doesn't need to be coming forward. If it bothers the neck, look down towards the floor, or if not, just looking at that side wall or up. Inhaling back to that warrior two, looking out over that middle finger, pivoting that foot to that wide leg forward fold once more, that two-part fold. Inhale, flat back to halfway, micro-bending the knees as much as you need, and then exhale, folding down. Allowing the hands to come to the mat, walking the hands backwards if that feels good. Just taking a moment here, allowing gravity to do the work it needs to do. Bring the hands forward, inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale and fold. Bringing the hands to the hips, coming out the way you came in. Sweeping all the way up, micro-bending the knees. And then we're pivoting that front foot as we come back into our warrior two once more, looking out over that front finger, flip the palm, reverse warrior, keeping that front leg bent, looking up to the hand. Coming back to warrior two, flipping that palm, looking up once more. And then as we come into our warrior two, using momentum to pull us to the front of the mat as we come into our balance poses. So find a comfortable place. Maybe you want to come off your mat, whatever feels right to you. Maybe you need to use the wall and just start shifting the weight to that right leg, point the left toe, flex that toe, and then cross that over above the knee. Bring the hands to the heart space and sinking back into a crouching figure four. Perhaps you'd like to stay here and just play with this figure four. Or you'd like to inhale and sweep out to starfish and exhale coming back to figure four. Make sure your drishti is on a fixed point, your gaze is on a fixed point. Inhale, sweeping the arms out to starfish and exhaling back to figure four. It's okay to be wobbly, just hang in there. Inhale, sweeping up, last time, out to starfish. And exhale, sitting back into that crouching figure four. And slowly and mindfully and gently coming out, allowing everything to just shake out a little bit before we go on to the other side. Transitioning over, flex that right foot, cross that right foot over the left knee, not on the left knee, bring the hands to the heart space, and sitting back, that crouching figure four. You can stay there again, or you can inhale, and you can open out to your starfish. You can use the wall here too if you'd like. Inhale back to crouching figure four, making sure your gaze is on a fixed point in front of you. Inhale, opening out. Exhale, sitting back. Inhale last time to that starfish, expand, expand. And exhale, sitting back into your last crouching figure 4. Excellent. Slowly, mindfully coming out, shaking everything down, and just coming back to mountain as we come into cool down. So standing in that cool down, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, swan dive down, hinging from the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Allow that last forward fold, maybe the cradled elbows once more, swaying a little side to side. And then coming back to the middle, planting the hands, stepping back into that last downward facing dog. Maybe you want to stay here or shift that weight for one last vinyasa. Coming down through chaturanga, inhaling to cobra, and then exhaling back to downward facing dog. Just think how different this dog feels than the first dog. Dropping the knees, coming to table, untucking the toes, and just sitting back for a minute into your version of child's pose. Allowing those hips to sink to the heels. Before we come back into table, sweep the legs around and allow those legs to just come in front of you as we do a little core work. So bring those soles of the feet to the floor, straighten the back, and maybe you just want to adjust and reach back a little, stay here, or lift up the leg. Maybe one leg, maybe two legs. Maybe open up the arms if you're feeling adventurous. And maybe bring the hands together as you open the legs and just test that core a little bit, pointing the toes or flexing the toes, whatever feels good. As we move oppositely, the arms opening as the feet come together, and then twisting maybe to one side, but again, no pain in the back. Twisting to the other side, coming back to center, opening out again to each side. And maybe one last opening up. I'm just distracting you from the core, of course. And then coming back and just relaxing the body. Straightening your right leg, straightening your left leg. Inhaling the arms up and over. And exhaling, reaching forward with that chest, coming into a gentle forward fold. I have some back issues, so I don't come too low on these. I like to cross my arms over to get a little more extension through the lats and just reaching with the chest, but you can of course fold if there's no pain in that back. And switching the hands if you were crossing the hands. And then we're coming up and we're going to open our legs out to the side, flexing the feet and maybe just walking down again, a different version of a forward fold. You can come much lower again. Grab the toes if you'd like. Maybe reaching down with the sits bones, reaching forward with the chest, trying not to overly fold that back, just being mindful. And then coming up once more, we're going to sweep over, a little stretch to that left side. Again, listening to your body, coming as deeply as you'd like, or staying upright if you'd like. And then rotating over to that right side, bringing that right hand to the right toe, the left hand over to the left thigh. And bringing the legs back together. At this point, if you have a strap nearby, you can use it. If not, you can grab a towel. You just want to make sure that towel is long enough that you can put it over the soft part of the feet, not on the toes, just on the pads, and that you can pull those elbows back into the body. And this is where the fun part starts. Make sure you have space behind and slowly bending the knees, sweep those legs all the way up. We're going to let that strap do all the work here. So allow those elbows to come to the floor, the feet to be flexed. This is a beautiful, safe inversion. The strap is doing all the work because the shoulders and the elbows are on the floor. Your legs are straight. You're getting all the benefits of the inversion here. Just continuing to lengthen and deepen that breath. As you're ready, step the left leg out and keep that strap on the right leg. Hold it with the right hand and allow that right leg to fall open to that right side. You can keep the left leg bent, or if it feels right, you can straighten that left leg. And you can place that hand on that left hip to anchor it down as needed. Again, allowing the elbow to be on the floor, the strap to do all the work, or the towel. Stay there for a couple of breaths, then bringing that back to center. Switching hands and allowing that leg to float over the body as the right arm floats over to the side. Maybe looking over to that right hand. The hip's going to come off the floor. That's okay, just not too much. Just allowing that bottom leg to be soft and relaxed. Sweep the leg back up, and here's the tricky part. We step that left foot into the strap as we release that right leg down with the knee bent or the leg straight if it doesn't bother you, and allow that left leg to float outwards. Anchoring that right hip with the right hand if it's coming off the floor. Just allowing the strap again to do all the work. Inhaling, sweeping that leg back to the middle, switching hands to the right hand, allowing the left hand to float out, looking over toward that left hand if it doesn't bother the neck. Again, the hip's going to come off the floor, that's okay. Allowing that elbow to relax down, getting that nice supine twist. You've worked hard, so this is our time to relax, to release, and to let go. Bring that leg back to the middle, and just release the strap off to the side. Windmill, wipering the legs side to side, just working out any kinks left in the back. Bring the feet and the knees to the chest, rocking a little side to side, the hands just underneath the knees, and then bringing those feet, seeing where the heels are, shifting those heels closer to the rear, and then coming up into your bridge, slowly with the palms resting in the mat, coming up one vertebrae at a time. Perhaps you want to walk the feet in closer, perhaps you want to tuck the shoulders under. Perhaps you need to come down and just honor your body today. Perhaps you want to come up to your tiptoes. Some of you might want to release one leg into the air. Taking 2 breaths, reaching up with the glutes. And then you might want to switch those legs up, reaching up with the other leg. Or just stay on your tiptoes. Or just doing your dynamic bridge. We come out of bridge the same way that we came into bridge, slowly and mindfully. So we can start to unravel the shoulders if they're tucked beneath you. Bringing those palms down, and then coming down one vertebrae at a time, bringing those knees into chest, rocking a little side to side. You can stay here, or perhaps you'd like to come into happy baby. Maybe you want to hold the big toes with the peace fingers, allowing a bend in the knees, rocking a little side to side, massaging that spine. Maybe straightening one leg, maybe straightening both legs. Again, you can rock a little side to side, just making this your own. We're really starting to relax down now. So again, bringing those knees into chest. Maybe bringing the knee to the nose to the knee on each side. And then reaching everything, the hands above the head, the feet out, the toes pointed. And then bringing those knees down, bringing the soles of the feet together. Maybe one hand on their chest, one hand on the belly. So you've got the belly and the heart connected. And just inviting the body to release, to relax, to let go. Just a couple of breaths here. And then we bring those hands underneath the legs, bringing them back together, knees back together. One final stretch, reaching up with the hands, reaching straight. Perhaps you want a banana over to the left, pointing the toes, reaching the hands to the left. And then banana over to the right, reaching the toes, reaching the hands. As we prepare for our final Savasana, resting down, allowing the toes to open to the sides, the palms to float up. In our Savasana, we allow ourselves to be fully supported by the mat. We go back to that breath and perhaps focusing on that heart space and just envisioning a small golden ball of light in that heart space. And with every inhale, that ball expands. And with every exhale, you release that light to every part of your body, inviting the body to relax, to release, and to let go. With every breath, expanding that golden light from that heart space until your body is completely enveloped in that light, healing, releasing, relaxing, and letting go. Just continuing to breathe, being fully supported, knowing everything is taken care of. Invite the body to slowly wake up, maybe wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, and slowly and gently shifting the hips, rolling over to your right side, cradling that head in the hands for a couple of breaths while being in fetal position. And then gently, with the eyes still closed, supporting yourself in coming up to a seated position with the legs crossed. Taking a moment just to connect, to express gratitude, sweeping the hands up and overhead, bringing those palms together at that heart space. Just expressing gratitude to you for doing something wonderful for your body. And we just see that lovely light by opening our eyes, saying thank you, and I hope to see you again. Wishing you all a wonderful time. Thank you. Be kind and be well. Goodbye.